Hello, good day. My name is Chris Njoku. Today, I want to quickly look at creating a mark sheet for schools, depending on what you intend to achieve. Here, we have names of students, and then we have their ID here. And then these are subjects the students have taken. So, as a teacher, you'd like to display the highest a student got, the lowest the student got, the total marks, the average, the grade according to the average, and then you rank the students using the grade and the average as guide so that you can possibly tell how the student performed. You can have an overall assessment of the students in that class. So there are several mark sheets that you can produce depending on what you want to show to the school management or what information you'd like parents to have. So let's get into the business of the day. Now, these are marks of this 20 students in mathematics. Same thing for physics, chemistry, biology, and fine arts. Now I want to get the highest score for this student with ID number 001. So I'm going to use the max function, which is maximum. And so I select all the marks that are applicable, close my bracket, I hit my enter key. So this is showing us that this particular student, John Ken, got the highest score of 80 in all the courses, and that was in biology. So with this, you'll be able to say that, okay, this student has so much interest in biology more than every other course. So these are some of the reasons you display some parameters in mark sheet for parents to see and then possibly know how to help their words. Now I'm going to drag this down or to fill so that same thing will happen to every other student. So you can see these are the highest each of these students got. You can trace it down to know where they did massively well, and then you'll be able to know the students' um, love or likeness for courses. So you can see this Musa Terry got 82 as the highest, and that was in fine arts. You can see this 80.5 was in physics. You can see this 89 was in physics. You can see this 81 in fine arts. 80 and that was in biology. So that's just the idea behind obtaining the highest score. So next is the lowest score. We say equals, we use the minimum function. Then you select the data range, close it, hit enter key. You can see 59. You drag it down. Now you can see where the students got their lowest scores. You can see John Kerry, John Ken got 59 in mathematics. So that is where he's struggling. As a teacher, as a school owner, you can use this as guide to probably give extra attention to that student in mathematics. You can see 65 for this next student, and that was in biology. You can try to know what that child is um, suffering from, what is actually disturbing that child, the challenge the child has with learning biology. So, in schools where there are good counselors, this can be used as guide. So you can see 57 for Harry Uche, and that was in biology, and 64 for Ola Aino, that was in physics. So that's just the idea behind the lowest. Now we move to the next, which is total. Total is that we are going to add up all the scores for the subject that the student is taking. We have one, two, three, four, five subjects. So we want to add up to know the total score. So we say equals. We use the sum function to add up. So mind you, you are going to stop at the fine art. You won't include the highest and the lowest columns so that you don't have error. And then you close the bracket, you hit your enter key. So this is 349 for John Kerry. You do the needful by dragging down to the very last, so you can see these are total scores that each of these 20 students got. Now we move forward. The next we are going to take care of is the average score. So to get the average, we say equals and then average. Pick the average function. Average of what? Average of the five courses. So these are the five courses from C2 to G2. You close the bracket, you hit your enter key. So this is the average of John Ken, 69.8. So you drag down. So this is it. The next point now is the grade. We're going to grade the student based on their average score. However, we must set aside what we are going to use as guide to grade these students. Let's say we want to give A plus to any student that got 90 and above. And then we'll give A, sorry, let me write in capital letter. Let's say we're going to give A plus for any student that got 90 and above. And then we're going to give A without a plus for any student that got 80 and above. Let's say this 90 and above. Different schools have their own laid down score marks and grades. So your own school might be different from this. We're only trying to use this as guide for this particular video. So the next here is B for anyone that scores 70 and above. Mind you, when we say and above is that it should be between 70 and 79 because A already have 80 as the least threshold. So your B is just if you score at least 70. Eh? Between let's go this way. 70 to 79. 79 B. I think it's better this way. A will be 80 to 89. And then A plus will be 90 to 100, possibly. Now, we say C will be for anyone that scores between 60 to 69. and then D will be for anyone that scored between 50 and 59. And then we are giving F to anyone that scored below 50. F for anyone that scored less than 50. Less than 50. You can see the sign. This is a less than 50 sign. So now we move forward. In order for us to grade this student, we're going to use a function that is known as nested if in Excel. We're going to use nested if function. So we say equals if. What is the logical test here? Our logical test here is that we are referring to the average score of the student, which is the logical test. That if the student score the value on K2, and if that value in K2 is greater than 90, what will you give to that student? Give to that student A plus. So you use the double quotation mark, and then you give what should be assigned to that student. So here we are saying that if this student score 90 and above, give the student A plus, and then comma. We're also bringing the if function again because we're working on nested if function. That is to say, if that is inside another if that is inside another if until you meet all the conditions. We have a lot of conditions here: the A plus condition, the A condition, the B condition, the C condition, the D condition, and then the F condition. So these are the conditions that must be taken care of in this nested if function. So now we have given out the first condition that if this particular student now, which is John Penn, as the case study, scores above 90 as average, we will say he has A plus as the grade. Now moving forward, now we'll now say if again. What is the next condition? The condition is still for John Penn. Say if John Penn scores greater than or equals to 80, what should happen? Give this particular student a B, and then you close the quotation mark. Now we have taken care of the B function, the B part of our script. We move forward by saying, however, if the same students score greater than or equals to 70, what should we do? Oh, sorry, there's a mix-up here. The 80 is for A. So 70 here now will be for B. So we say B. comma, if okay, if the grades by this student, the average score by this student is greater than or equals to 60, comma, assign what C. And then if the students, K2 again, score greater than or equals to 50, assign D. And then for the very last, if if the student score less than 50, comma, what should we assign? F. And so we are almost done with this. This is the tricky part of the nested if. And then a lot of people have challenge and then they get confused. Here, I want to explain what we need to do here. We are meant to close the bracket, but looking at the lot of scripts we have written here, our bracket is based on how many times we called upon the if function. And so we're going to look at this. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're going to close it 6 times. This is it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So these are the amount of if function we called upon, and then we have succeeded in closing our bracket. So this is just the trick. We hit our enter key, and then we have grade C for this particular student. Let's look at the score and the grade if it tallies. This student got 69.8, and 69.8 fall between 60 and 69, which is graded C. So we're correct. So now we will drop down to C. So you can see that the needful has been done. Look at this. B 74.3, B 73.7. You can see that B is actually between 70 and 79. Let's look at A here, 80.2, which is this, between 80 and 89. Let's look at this. F 47.6. Let's look at this. We said anything less than 50 should be F. So we're very correct there. Let's look at this 86.4. We have A, very correct. And then let's look at this. We have 92.8 and we assigned A plus to it, which is this. We said 90 and above should be A plus. So that is how it goes on and on until the very last point, which is the 20th student. So we are very correct there. You have succeeded in grading your students according to their average score performance. So that is for that. The last we are going to be doing here is to rank what we have done here. Let's know the students that came up first, or second, or third. This is something we usually do so that in some cases we award prizes to the best students, the second, and in some cases the third student. So now we're going to use the rank function. Now you have to follow me closely again. So we say equals, we say rank. So you pick this rank question, and then it's telling you number as the first criteria that you are going to pick. What is the number you want to pick and rank? This is the average number, which is in K2. So that is the number. So, comma. Now, the reference. How do you reference the column that you want to rank? Ordinarily, if we're talking about range, we'll select from the first to the last. So follow me closely and see what I'm going to do here. This is supposed to be a reference, but the reference here is not in the order that it should be. Why? If you have not watched my video on cell referencing, please do so. If you want to reference a column and then you are using it to rank, it's important that you bring in a dollar sign before the letter representing the column and then the number representing the row. If you watch my video on cell referencing, you will understand the difference between the absolute cell referencing and the relative cell referencing. So here we are going to apply the absolute cell referencing because it's not going to change from one row to another. So see what I'm going to do. So I drop my cursor before the K and then I press Shift 4 on my keyboard. It brought the dollar sign before the K, and then I drop my cursor after the K. I press the same thing again, the dollar again. Shift 4 will bring in the dollar sign. So I have referenced the beginning. I have to reference the last row, which is the 21st row. So I'll do the same thing. Before K, I'll add my dollar sign, and after K, I'll also add my dollar sign. So I've referenced this the way it should be. So moving forward, I drop my comma sign and then move to the very last point of this script. You can see that it's showing me which order do you want it. If you type in O, it means you are putting it in descending order. If you type 1, you are putting it in ascending order. So we're going to go with O, which is the descending order, and then you close the bracket. You hit your enter key. Look at what it gave to us here, 19. So this person is occupying the 19th position. Now we want to drag down so that we want to fill and see who's occupying first, second, and third till the 20th position. So we have done that. You can see everything is there. As expected, the first position goes to this person that scored 92.8, which is the A plus. The second position here went to 86.4, which is A. The third position went to 85.8. The fourth position went to 85.5. So that is just how it should be. You must script very well for you to have this result. I'm taking time to say all of this so that you will move from one to the other as expected, so that you'll be able to achieve the grades and then the rank. These two are the most important of this result sheet. I expect you to take it gently so that you have a good understanding of this. I'm still going to make other videos for other conventional ways of having a result sheet in Excel. But let's go with this for now. I expect you to subscribe to the Simplifier YouTube channel if you have not done so, because several videos will be coming your way that will make your job easier. If you are a school teacher in this 21st century, you should know how to do this. Or else, you will be seen as a low-grade teacher. If you're working in a big school, you are expected to know how to do this. Not just that you have good grades in your graduation, you have 2-1 in English education or 2-1 in mathematics. If you don't know how to record this, you'll be seen as an obsolete school teacher, because this is expected of you. So stay tuned to this Simplify YouTube channel. There are several other videos that will teach you how to do this in another format that will be coming your way. My name still remains Chris Njoku. Thank you for watching.